Hi everyone, this is Richard. Let's talk about arrays as part of the collections. So arrays are kind of specialized lists. I'm not going to go into it too much, but I do want to talk about them because they do have, in many programs and many tutorials, they mention them a lot, and I'm not exactly sure why. When you use a list, you are using a lot of memory because the program has to keep in mind that you have a list of, let's just say, 5 things. You can add things, you can subtract things, and you can make it really, really big. That takes memory. So if you take a lot of memory to make a list, if you have 5,000 lists, 5 million lists, 5 trillion lists, right? What happens is it takes up a lot of memory. So you want to, what we call, optimize your program. Make it run as fast as possible with the least amount of resources, least amount of memory, least amount of CPU cycles, the amount of computations it has to do, right? And so that's where array comes in. It's more of an advanced technique to make the lists more predictable because you say in the beginning, this list is going to be of certain length. I will not add or subtract to it. I'm getting ahead of myself. You're basically going to define your list very much ahead of time, and that's it, because it'll be simplified, but it'll use much less memory and processing power, okay? So there's no type array. It's just int brackets, not curly, but just regular brackets, the variable, and new. And here in the brackets, oh, by the way, you can have an array of anything. It could be, again, ints, strings, bools, I guess, whatever you want to do, okay? So it's just a new int, and you'll have 5 values. When you declare it, what happens is the computer automatically sets up 5 spaces in the array called myints. All right, whether you give them value or not, that memory is taken up and gives it a default value. So for example, that goes to 5, 0, 1, 2, 3. I can use one more space. So I'm going to say a 4 right here, okay? What's the value? I haven't given it a value, so it's going to be 0, right? But what if I give it 0 right here? It should give me the value 0. Okay, again, I think I'm jumping ahead a little bit. So notice that there's no such thing as myints.add. Notice that? Because you cannot add any more values. You got these values 0 through 4, and that's all you have. You can reassign the value. So you can say myints 0 equals 55, you can do that. So it's originally 0, now it changes to 55. That is okay to do. You can reassign it the value just like you would any other variable. But what you cannot do is add, subtract to the list itself. Okay, so let's just take a look and see what methods are available for it. All, any, append, what's that? Appends a value to the end of the sequence. Oh, I guess you can actually add on top, but through a specialized means. All right, so it's a whole lot different. It's not something we're going to use very much. Oh, by the way, if you want to declare and initialize in the very beginning, you can do this as well. So it would be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can do that. And so that would be 5. Right there. Okay, so you can also declare and initialize at the same time, or you can change the values later on. All right, so won't be using it that much. We'll be using more lists. Thanks.